Vote Sports put out this video back in December on Marcelo Garcia. It's called "The God of Submissions, Mad Lightweight Breaking UFC Heavyweights, Marcelo Garcia." So let me read this to you. Record-breaking 90% submission rate, 4 gold medals in the grappling Olympics, and a complete lack of fear in the face of giants. I guess the grappling Olympics, maybe ADCC. I don't know. Marcelo Garcia mowed through the opposition in the 2000s, introducing techniques and positions that have become the foundation of modern jiu-jitsu. Despite his modest stature, the smiling prodigy would send the best Gracie clan members to the gallows and punish heavyweight UFC champions for unruly behavior. This is the tale of a mythical hero who redefined dominance in the art of weaving the human body. Marcelo Garcia, the savage savant of folding laundry while people were still wearing their clothes, or however that thing goes. So we're gonna give this a watch. I'm a big Marcelo fan. Big Marcelo fan. At one point, I had that really rad like X-Guard butterfly book that he had that is no longer in print. I think I let somebody borrow it and never got it back. So if you've got one, or you know where I can get one, like leave a comment, let me know. But let's get into this video from Vote Sports on Marcelo Garcia. I'm super excited.
A record-breaking 90% submission rate. 4 gold medals at the grappling Olympics. And a complete lack of fear in the face of giants. Marcelo Garcia mowed through the opposition in the 2000s, introducing techniques and positions that have become the foundation of modern jiu-jitsu.
Beautiful arm drag.
Despite his unassuming stature, the smiling prodigy would send the best Gracie clan members to the gallows and punish heavyweight UFC champions for unruly behavior.
I didn't realize that what I read to you was going to be the intro to this video, but bro, big Marcelo fan. Let's see where this goes. Let's see what they really get into. Is just highlights at the beginning, bro.
This is a tale of a mythical hero who redefined dominance in the art of weaving the human body. Stock up on oxygen.
E olha só. Ih, rapaz, já encaixou ali, hein? Bateu, terminou, acabou, dormiu.
Marcelinho was born in 1983 in a small Brazilian town. Enthralled by Bruce Lee and 80s blockbusters, he began his martial arts journey with karate, later switching to judo, and soon diving headfirst into the world of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. 20-year-old Marcelo first came to prominence in 2003. By a stroke of luck, he was brought in as a late replacement at ADCC, the Submission Grappling Olympics, where the world's best stranglers and cripplers gather every 2 years. Grappling wasn't nearly as popular back then as it is today. However, ADCC champions shone bright in MMA, making the title highly esteemed among hardcore fans. Rico Rodriguez became the UFC heavyweight champion. Mark Kerr won 2 one-night UFC tournaments and came close to capturing the belt in pride.
Kerr's got him on his back.
So recently it's been brought to light that a lot of these young grapplers, talking specifically about J-Rod and B-Team, but there's a lot of guys, right? That don't really know the history of our sport. And I'm trying to learn more history, but like these are names that some of these people don't even know. So if you catch a name in this video of somebody that you don't know, you need to look into them because they help pave the way for what we get to do today. Respect your elders.
Ricardo Arona gave young Fedor his toughest fight and even out-wrestled the last emperor. Later winning the Rings Grand Prix and reaching the finale of the Pride Grand Prix. Marcelo, a hopeless and undersized underdog, weighing 145 pounds in the 170-pound division, pulled guard from the opening seconds, arm-dragged his opponent, and came up on top. Then seamlessly took the back and administered a sedative shot. The quarterfinal promised to be a tough test as he faced the legendary Renzo Gracie, the pride of the renowned clan, a two-time ADCC champion and a Pride veteran who defeated heavyweights in MMA, including Oleg Taktarov. Unfazed by the acrobatic display, Garcia pulled the rival into X-guard, opened the score with a timely sweep, and made his way into side control, getting past the opponent's legs. The overwhelmed favorite exposed his back and spent the rest of the match trying to shake off the annoying younger brother. Eventually losing on points 9-0, Renzo settled for a playful guillotine.
Man, you know, one of the things that was always super enticing to me about Marcelo back when I started jiu-jitsu was that they called him the nicest guy in jiu-jitsu. But also, I caught this whole video, like I got to find it, but like love to find it again and watch it. But, you know, they asked him why he was so good at jiu-jitsu, and he was literally like, I love jiu-jitsu more than anyone else. And I was like, dude, that's a super powerful way to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you love it that much and you're willing to put that kind of work in, right? Like, it isn't just like, I love it, I want to watch it. Like, dude loves it so much that he devoted his life to it. And then even to this day, he's still just like, to me, like Marcelo Garcia will always be like the nicest guy in jiu-jitsu. So let's keep going.
Having whetted his appetite for the semis, Marcelo moved on to the next dish in the form of three-time world champion Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro. The prospect teleported to the back with his signature arm drag.
E olha só. Ih, rapaz, já encaixou ali, hein?
And before the foe realized what had happened, Garcia got a pit bull bite on the throat.
Olha, Marcelo encaixou.
Seconds later, he released Shaolin's limp body with no signs of consciousness.
Bateu, terminou. Acabou, dormiu. Uma surpresa, hein?
An exemplary performance by Marcelo.
They just smacked Vitor in the face to wake him up. Let me see if I can watch this.
Shaolin's limp body with no signs of consciousness.
Bateu, terminou. Acabou, dormiu. Uma surpresa, hein?
An exemplary performance by Marcelo.
Ih, rapaz, já encaixou ali, hein? Bateu, terminou. Acabou, dormiu.
Who showed respect to the defeated adversary. Compared to clashes with titans who guarded the throne, the final match against the American Otto Olsen turned out to be a cakewalk. An arm drag into a single leg entry. A body lock guard pass. And a rear naked
Proof right there that nothing in jiu-jitsu is new. The body lock guard pass. This is years ago. Everybody, you know, just jumped on this body lock recently in the last like year, maybe 2 years, like body lock. Marcelo Garcia. Say thank you.
choke as the opponent turns his back, trying to get up. Made it look easy. Just like that, Garcia conquered the most prestigious submission grappling tournament, etching his name into history. Still, despite being at a considerable weight disadvantage even in his own division, the Brazilian decided to give it a go in the absolutes. Marcelinho kicked off his run in the open weight class with clever traps from guard. and a well-practiced back take, securing his 4th rear naked choke in a single day. The opponent never had a chance. And although the massive Marcio Cruz outmuscled the little guy in the quarterfinal to a decision victory, even he knew who was the main character in this story. Following his sensational ADCC debut in 2004, Garcia joined the star-studded lineup of the Brazilian tournament called Campos. The first renowned victim was the future UFC middleweight title contender, Thales Leites. Settling into his favorite reverse half guard, Marcelo forced his foe into the fetal position. But that couldn't save Leites from oxygen deprivation. Garcia did not back down even against Cro Cop's future nightmare, a young Gabriel Gonzaga. The nimble lightweight outmaneuvered the big guy on the feet, climbed onto his back crazy frog style, and persistently demanded a tap. Gonzaga survived, losing by decision. The Brazilian also conquered the World Championship in Gi Jiu-Jitsu before heading to ADCC 2005.
Not a fan of the gi. No disrespect to it. Came up doing the gi. I would watch Marcelo Garcia gi or no gi because his jiu-jitsu is exactly the same either way. It's arm drags, X guard, butterfly, strangled.
In California, this time as a considerable favorite defending his crown. The UFC veteran Chris Brennan instantly felt the difference in speed of thought and action. Finding himself in a precarious position, he gave up a limb. Only a last-minute injury saved the American from an inevitable submission. Next up was Shinya Aoki, a
That's a sub. If you're getting submitted or you're grappling and your body gives up on you, you lost. That's a sub. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Dude's rib must have popped out. I hate it for him, but his body said, I quit.
Combat sports icon from Japan and a creative virtuoso, presumably capable of dethroning the Brazilian phenom. Shinya immediately sensed danger and got swept from.
I gotta find some video on Shinya Aoki. That dude has mashed people up. He's great to watch. Super fun. Always wears the best spats. But like OG for sure.
From deep half guard. Once on top, Garcia forced the foe to expose his back,
advancing to the finals in the under 60 kilogram category,
leading to hypoxia. Aoki barely got past the 1-minute mark. The opponent in the semis, Leo Santos, entered the mat after a triumphant aerial attack on none other than Georges St. Pierre. However, against Marcelo, he turned from a pilot into a deserter. Despite showing solid defense, Leo didn't want to engage, even when offered top position. And
this is part of where, like, I'm glad that like modern jiu-jitsu is like added like stalling calls, stuff like that, because like there's always going to be the argument of like wrestling versus guard pulling, you know, and I can see it from both. Okay, like good wrestling is exciting, it's good to watch. You know, Mikey Musumeci made a really good point. Like when you got two jiu-jitsu guys that can't wrestle, trying to like getting mad that they're not wrestling is dumb. Like they suck at wrestling. Like let's get down to like what we want to see. We want to see them grapple, you know. Like my attitude most of the time is like if you're pissed off that somebody won't stand up and wrestle you, you probably can't pass guard. Like just pass their guard then. You know what I mean? Like, you should have a well-rounded game. You should be able to wrestle some. You know, it's better if you're awesome at it, but you should definitely be able to pass guards, you know? But when you're just constantly backing up and disengaging, you should quit. Like figure it out, dude. Like, at this level, like, even though this is years ago, like, at this level, like, you should be able to pass the guard. Like, that dude shouldn't have just been backing up from him. What are you doing? What are you doing? Learn to wrestle, but also learn to pass the guard. If you can't do those things, be really good at leg locks.
And ultimately lost by decision. In the finale, Garcia faced another young talent, Pablo Popovich, who had eliminated Renzo Gracie and Jake Shields from the tournament. Marcelo opened the match with his signature arm drag.
This was the toughest category.
Beautiful arm drag. Another signature move for Marcelo Garcia.
Again,
that was perfection.
But Popovich returned the favor.
If you're not studying Marcelo Garcia, you're making a mistake. Like, this is timeless jiu-jitsu. Like, everything that he did back then works today. Like, hands down. Butterfly, X guard, single leg X, arm drag, his guillotine. Like, you need to be studying Marcelo Garcia. Always.
With a lasso sweep.
Oh, Pablo Popovich gets the sweep on Marcelo. You rarely see that.
Garcia got back to guard and then reclaimed the dominant position.
Beautiful.
Once on top, he passed to the side, tightly controlling the upper body.
Beautiful. Garcia wants the guard pass. Popovich
Pinned the victim down.
Oh, looks like he is past here.
Got past.
Changed the angle.
He wants to keep turning into guard.
And secured the goal with an opportunistic wrist lock.
They gave up the mount. They don't want to fall into that.
Marcelo Garcia does wrist locks. If he does wrist locks, I'm going to do wrist locks. Watch out, white belts. Coming for you.
What happened?
That was a submission right there.
Having reaffirmed his status as the best grappler in the world at 170 pounds, Marcelo expressed his desire to compete against the big guys in his interview.
How are you feeling?
Man, I feel too great because it's my second time.
Do you think you're going to fight the Absolute today?
Yes, I want. And I want one tough guy first.
His wish was granted, and the guy tasked with taming the little dynamo was the recently crowned UFC heavyweight champion, Rico Rodriguez, who by that time had collected a full set of ADCC medals, including gold in the 99-kilogram division. The menacing bruiser was pushing frantic.
218 versus a 170. It's almost 50 pounds. 50 pounds is a lot of weight, but 50 pounds, like, when you're looking at this skill level, bro. And just watch how this match plays out, bro. It's rough.
Frantically. Clearly wary of Garcia's Wolverine attacks. But even a 90-pound weight advantage did not save him from the
90. Let me get the calculator here. It was not a 90-pound weight. 218 versus like minus 9. That means Marcelo was 128 pounds back then. He was not. His legs are too gigantic on his little body. That dude was wrong.
ultimate weapon. Marcelo pulled the enemy in with an arm drag, and while the giant was freeing his limb, the agile Brazilian grabbed a single, turned the corner to the back, and buckled Rico's knees to sit him down. Humiliated with a human backpack, Rodriguez decided to break the rules and smash the irritating fifth grader.
Douchebag. Douchebag. Listen to the crowd.
Unfazed, Garcia responded with the first.
Like, the whole crowd booed. I've watched this match a couple different times.
Backpack, Rodriguez decided to break the rules and smash the irritating fifth grader. Unfazed, Garcia responded with the first and only heel hook of his career.
I feel like back then, like, heel hooks were like the definitive sign of like, I hate you. I hate you. And I feel like that's where that heel hook came from. That heel hook came from like, we're not doing this again.
The awestruck spectators witnessed a grappling edition of David versus Goliath, rightfully applauding the outcome. In the next round, the Brazilian limb hunter encountered the young and still sane Diego Sanchez. The nightmare started out briskly as usual, but Marcelo used a leg entanglement to reverse the position. Sanchez showcased a
Marcelo Garcia, also Mr. Wrestle Up,
competent butterfly guard and returned to a vertical position. Emboldened by the success, he got close to taking the back by re-dragging the arm drag master. However, a classic armbar counter to the Kimura grip caught him by surprise. The lock was too tight to escape. The semifinal provided a huge leap in the level of opposition. Three-time Jiu-Jitsu world champion Ronaldo Jacare Souza had already won gold at ADCC that day in the 88-kilogram, 194-pound division.
It's hilarious how short those rash guards were back then. Like, Schismatic Industries, shout out to my boy Sean. All his rash guards are a little longer than normal. They never ride up, ever. Some of my favorite rash guards, super soft.
And marched towards his second finale with his patented gait. The highly acclaimed alligator justified his nickname by dragging his compatriot into murky waters, and then confirmed rumors about the power of his jaws, shamelessly ripping a Kimura from closed guard. Nevertheless, Marcelo did not leave the mats empty-handed. In the third-place match, he became the second person in history to pass the legendary Xande Ribeiro's impenetrable guard, allowing him to secure the back, apply a strangle, and add another valuable scalp to his trophy wall. In the end, Garcia went home with the gold and bronze from the most prestigious tournament, where, in addition to the mentioned athletes, rising MMA stars also made their mark, including Fabricio Werdum, Jeff Monson, Damian Maia, and Georges St. Pierre. Roger Gracie ascended to the throne, winning gold in both the 99-kilogram, 218-pound category and the absolute. Already miles ahead of his colleagues, the 23-year-old Garcia was still in pursuit of perfection, tirelessly forging new weapons in the gym. After bursting onto the world stage with picture-perfect arm drags, deadly rear-naked chokes.
So that was Andrei Arlovsky training with Marcelo. Guys, there's plenty of video with Marcelo, like, training with people. Like, there's a really great one with him and Eddie Bravo. I wish I could think of some more off the top of my head, but there's so much great content of Marcelo Garcia just training, man, just training at his gym. It's so rad.
and X-guard variations. Over time, he expanded his arsenal with new positions and techniques. The honor of being a test subject fell to the future Strikeforce champion and seasoned grappler, Jake Shields.
Jake Shields! That's jiu-jitsu, folks!
The American unironically hoped for a decapitation.
He's going after it, trying to get a choke.
Marcelo easily slipped away.
His guillotines, one-arm guillotine. Didn't get the points for that.
And sat Jake down by running the pipe.
Garcia, it's going to be interesting to see if he can get on top of Jake Shields. And there he is. He sits up for the single.
Wary of back exposure, Shields hurried to insert an underhook, but forgot to protect his head.
Well, he's looking for a choke right here, isn't
Right
he?
there.
As soon as Shields stopped hand fighting, he found himself in an exclusive high elbow guillotine.
Boy, I don't know. As great as Garcia is, and it's over. He taps out. You saw the hand come up. And
This variation is now known as the Marcelo-tine. In early 2007, the Brazilian innovator unleashed the stuff he'd been working on under the Grappler's Quest promotion banner. He elegantly hopped over the guard, isolated the near arm with his legs, tortured the foe in a crucifix, and ended the man's suffering with a choke.
This dude's commentary is really good. I'm a fan.
In the finale against Gregor Gracie, Marcelo dominated in the stand-up. Was a step ahead defensively. And didn't let the opponent rest by attacking his arms. Ultimately, the exhausted Gracie succumbed to a north-south choke.
Legit, like I gotta spend some more time watching Marcelo. Like he's wrestling up like crazy. Like I wish that's the stuff that like back when I was like a white belt and blue belt, like I had noticed more, like the ability to wrestle into people like that. Like, cause I do it now, but like, I feel like, you know, I could be better. You know what I mean? Like had I been doing it early on in my jiu-jitsu.
A couple of months later, Garcia polished the crucifix to perfection at the Pan American Jiu-Jitsu Championship, where he easily claimed the gold. And in training, all the punishment went to the curly-headed Olympian in his prime, Ben Askren, who was forced to clap hands in a grasshopper pose. Armed to the teeth with state-of-the-art techniques, in 2007, Marcelo returned to the ADCC Gotham City stage to protect the fans from witnessing boring point-based snooze fests. The reconnaissance took a minute, ending with a demonstrative guillotine execution. Kurt Pellegrino fell victim to cunning footsie play.
This is the name I had heard as well.
And the subsequent trip saw Garcia advance to his favorite position, from where he promptly sent his opponent into airless space. Mike Fowler's head got nearly detached from his body in the semis, courtesy of the patented Marcelo-tine.
Mike Fowler. Some of the greatest hair back in the day. Look that dude up if you don't know who that is.
In the scrap for gold, Pablo Popovich wanted revenge. The Brazilian has not been defeated since their previous encounter and had eliminated Andre Galvao from the bracket. Popovich worked from deep half guard as always. But Marcelo changed directions, progressing into side control. He then switched sides again with knee on belly. Neutralized the far arm to seamlessly move to north-south, and finished the masterclass by applying an airtight strangle. 3 ADCC runs, 3 gold medals at 170 pounds. This time, all the wins came exclusively via submission. Unfazed by heavyweight danger, Marcelo once again set out to expand his sphere of influence into the realms of the absolute division. The game plan remained the same: entangle the legs and use it to sweep. Bypass defensive barriers in a single motion.
That was dope. All right, let's look at that. So he used single leg X to sweep, move straight into a body lock in that dude's butterfly guard. Like, what I'm seeing, dude, his ability to like just connect things together has been amazing. Like jumping, like there's one scene he jumped up for jumped like a jumping guillotine, missed it, and went straight at the legs. You know what I'm saying? Like his timing is dope. Let's look at that again.
Heavyweight danger, Marcelo once again set out to expand his sphere of influence into the realms of the absolute division. The game plan remained the same: entangle the legs and use it to sweep.
We great into look, boom.
Bypass defensive barriers in a single motion. Transition to north-south and seal the deal.
Tell me that didn't look exactly like the way Nicky Rod body lock passes.
Same. Entangle the legs and use it to sweep.
Into it, boom.
Bypass defensive barriers in a single motion. Transition to north-south and seal the deal. However, the next challenge seemed to be too much even for Garcia as he faced off against Hollis Gracie, a heavyweight runner-up. The previously foolproof arm drag didn't do the job. Stuck under the bruiser, Garcia crafted a spell from the bottom. A lightning-quick arm lock proved painful. And a verbal submission paved the way for the young wizard to advance to the semifinal, where he threatened another giant with the reverse armbar. And ended up on top. Each attempt to escape the quicksand only worsened the drowning opponent's matters. And the inevitable tap wasn't long in coming. The lightweight Marcelo rewrote the history of grappling with every appearance on the mats, successfully navigating through the absolute category. The last obstacle was Robert Drysdale, one of the most skilled American grapplers of his generation. He became the world champion in gi jiu-jitsu at 94 kilos, 207 pounds, and had no intention of relinquishing the crown in no-gi competition. Following Bruce Lee's teachings, Garcia practiced.
Can you imagine at this point, like being one of these big guys, like, and having to look at Marcelo Garcia across the mat, like I mean, obviously you know, at this level, like you're confident, right? Like, but this dude slays giants, bro. Like you gotta be slightly intimidated. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me projecting how I would feel. Staring at this like little powerhouse of a man. The dude that I got my brown belt from was a Marcelo Garcia black belt, and Xander was like, I think he's taller than me. I think he's like 6'6", and I'm 6'5", like 210 right now. I think Xander's like 6'6", like 280, you know, maybe 300. He was huge, hands the size of baseball gloves, but like he got his black belt from Marcelo. That had to have been amazing to be in that room.
Practiced one combination 10,000 times. Making it effective against anyone. However, he couldn't keep the bigger man down. Robert learned his lesson and countered a shot in open space with a Darce choke, thus stopping the Brazilian maestro. A blatant mistake cost Marcelo 2 historic records, victories in both divisions with submissions in all matches, and the title of the only absolute division champion from lightweight. Despite the frustrating epilogue, Garcia still raised the bar, a feat that no one came close to repeating to this day. He snatched both gold and silver, forcing surrender in 7 matches. The following year, Marcelo spent his time dealing with matters related not to competition, but to opening his own gym in New York. This didn't stop him from winning another World Jiu-Jitsu Championship in May 2009. And heading to ADCC for the 4th time in September. By then, the tournament had emerged from the basement venues to...
That little Budo videos tag right in the bottom corner means you could probably find that video on YouTube. Budo videos, you could probably find stuff on them.
Global arenas, and the organizers acquired an HD camera that fully showcased the intricacies of the gentle art. The first opponent got sat on his bum by Garcia's new move, now widely known as the dummy sweep. Having moved into side control, the champion immobilized his opponent's leg and shared the Marcelo Teen recipe. Next in line was Kron Gracie, a talented finisher and the golden boy of the famous Gracie clan. Kron set a rough tone from the gate, and Garcia didn't back down. Positioning himself in X-guard, he initiated a scramble and almost snatched the neck.
Kron's making a talk about coming back, I think, to MMA. I think that'd be interesting to see. To be honest, I saw him fight in Tampa and UFC, and to be pulled guard like multiple times in an MMA fight, it was really odd to see. So I know he's been a little MIA, these like since like the last like couple years or so, since like 2020. We all know what happened then. But like I'm interested to see like him come back, man. Like I'm a fan. He's got a great match with Gary Tonin. Great match with Gary Tonin, like grappling match. It was.
In pursuit of the guillotine, Kron sacrificed top position, but narrowly escaped decapitation himself, saved by a well-timed underhook. The tensions kept rising following 10 minutes of intense action. Marcelo shook the enemy's defense. Forced half guard and caught the neck as soon as Gracie tried to escape.
Go fast on that neck, bro.
Surgical precision in the midst of chaos, a sign of a true master of his craft. The dance partner in the semis had his share of firewalking.
I'm gonna be honest. Hitting a dummy sweep on somebody, I don't feel like there's a lot of things more satisfying. On the receiving end, there's not a lot of things more frustrating or embarrassing. It's right up there with getting wrist locked.
And chose stability over dynamism. Nevertheless, it was just an illusion. Taking away the Japanese athlete's ability to base on his hand, Marcelo showed off the good old classic, the hook sweep from butterfly guard. First thinking about the north-south choke, he transitioned to his 3rd consecutive guillotine. In the finale, his old acquaintance, Pablo Popovich, stood across again. Over the previous 5 years, the Brazilian powerhouse had only lost to Marcelo, both times for the ADCC gold. Eager for revenge, the beefed-up compatriot borrowed Garcia's weapon of choice. Forcing the rival to improvise from butterfly guard.
There's your favorite Gordon Ryan shoulder crunch sweep. Shoulder crunch sumigashi, or whatever it is. Shoulder crunch butterfly sweep. That's how the layman's call it. But that's where it came from. Danaher, watching Marcelo.
Garcia didn't abandon the X guard either, combining its variations and finding his way to the top. Popovich stuck to his best moves as well, performed a sweep, and sneakily cheated on the attack, which infuriated Marcelo. The decisive moment came with Popovich's guard pass in the last minute. Garcia quickly recovered, but couldn't make up the 2-point difference. Luck wasn't on Marcelinho's side in the absolute division either. After a fireworks show in his first encounter, future absolute champion Braulio Estima strangled the lightweight in the quarterfinals.
Another name you don't hear very often anymore is Braulio Estima. The Estima lock's named after him. You probably know what that is, but you should. He's got a reverse triangle as well. Like he was really good with the reverse triangle. So you want to go look that dude up, Braulio.
The disappointing result made some fans ponder the potential decline of the 27-year-old Garcia. Meanwhile, he shifted his focus to gi jiu-jitsu, winning 2 consecutive world championships in 2010 and 2011. Marcelo once again proved the versatility of his style with a brilliant showcase of battle-tested techniques in a different discipline. The sweeps worked flawlessly, as did the crucifix. The dummy sweep proved effective regardless of the uniform, and the north-south choke put a bow on it. When September of 2011 rolled around, Marcelo took off the jacket and headed to England for his 5th ADCC, smoothly chaining together takedowns and groundwork. The Brazilian Mongoose slid through defensive frames and French Revolutioned his first opponent. Next on the decapitation list was Braulio Estima's brother, Victor. It turned out that revenge is not only a dish served cold, but also fast food. The means of retribution was once again a guillotine. The semifinals saw a rematch with Kron Gracie, who had noticeably matured over the past couple of years. Be that as it may, he conceded the first takedown a minute in. The Golden Boy threatened with an omoplata and got back up. Albeit not for long. Kron pushed the action from his back, but Marcelo kept his cool and settled for an uncharacteristic win by points. Only Leo Vieira stood between him and the crown. Like Garcia, the Brazilian won 2 consecutive ADCC titles in 2003 and 2005, but in the 145-pound division. He also claimed silver in 2007 and set out to conquer a new weight class in 2011. Fighting a similar-sized guy was new to Garcia, but this didn't hinder him from taking the action to ground zero. And soon teleporting into mount. As a parting gift, the Da Vinci of limb hunting delivered the first and last triangle choke of his career. Marcelo was gracious in victory as always, reaffirming his status as the best pound-for-pound grappler on the planet. To this day, no one else has managed to conquer ADCC 4 times in a fixed division. Only Gordon Ryan comes close to this epical achievement with 3 gold medals. Fans were eager to witness further greatness, but a knee injury prevented Garcia from jumping into the absolute. After the tournament, he focused on coaching. If I continued to compete, I wouldn't be able to give proper attention to my students. They are increasingly performing at the highest level, needing my guidance and support. Their successes bring me even more joy than my own. You never explicitly mentioned retirement, but considering what you've just said and the fact that you and your wife are expecting twins, don't you feel like your competitive career has come to an end? It's hard for me to think about it. It's not the end yet, but in 2003, an unknown grappler stepped onto the mats and single-handedly changed the trajectory of the entire sport.
Bateu, terminou, acabou, dormiu.
In less than 10 years on the fiery mats, Garcia set multiple unbeaten records. Introduced new techniques into the game. And his positional execution is studied to this day. Being the smallest on the mat outwardly, he compensated with the biggest heart within. He never shied away from the heavyweight challenges, thus expanding the boundaries of what's possible. Today, grappling stars earn decent money. They no longer need to transition to MMA to make a living. Bruce Buffer announces their names, and the lavishly illuminated arenas are packed to capacity. And credit for this goes to pioneers like Marcelo Garcia. In January 2023, the Brazilian veteran was diagnosed with cancer. He is currently undergoing treatment and promises to return to his home academy to teach the next generation. Even on a hospital bed, he never stopped smiling.
It's just like another final, so I'm really looking forward for that.
Wishing you a speedy recovery, champion. If you enjoyed this video, guillotine the like button, subscribe to the channel, and...
Man. So I'm pretty sure that since that video was released, Marcelo has been cleared of his stomach cancer. So that's super cool. Kind of a blessing, I think, you know, not just for him, but like for the jiu-jitsu community. I don't think we're ready to be done with Marcelo Garcia. And this is that type of dude. This is that type of dude that makes you love jiu-jitsu, man. And I've you know, when I started as a white belt like 15 years ago, he was one of the names like that I wanted to. I love that he was smaller than everybody. Like he was my first inspiration as far as like being smaller. Like and I'm 6'5", so I'm not small, but I was like, I want to do jiu-jitsu like small guys. Like I want to like, but and now like I have I use a lot of butterfly guard, and I'm getting better at my wrestling up, and like I'm a Marcelo Garcia fan for sure. Like he's the kind of guys that not only do we need in jiu-jitsu, he's the kind of guys you still need to be studying. So great. That was such a great video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, go check out Vote Sports. Vote Sport. They have a lot of. I'll put a link to this video in the description, and they have a lot of great content on their page, and they show a lot of love to these athletes. So, Jiu-Jitsu Collective, we don't owe.